사장은 괜찮겠지?
Yeah, we've got a whole team now.
배탔으면 출발합니다.
I hope that guy's legit. I did say first episode that maybe he's in on it. Yeah, maybe we're gonna get a game this episode. Number 1. Is he gonna be number 1, do you think, this time? Would be quite symbolic, taking Ilnam's place. Oh, isn't this familiar? Yeah. Oh, it feels good. I'm sorry. It does. Oh God, you need to relax. No, he's 4, 5, 6. Who's number 1 then? It's still like, I feel like so up to chance for him to even make it out of this alive.
456번.
Right, what's your deal, mate?
놓지 못한 것들이 너무 많아. 떠날 수도 머물 수도 없구나.
Okay, fortune teller.
여기서 나가면 굿 한 번에
If.
다 씻어내 줄 수 있어.
What? Okay. Oh yeah, the PlayStation people. Sorry, that's all I see when I see the masks, okay?
이 자리에 오신 여러분을 진심으로 환영합니다.
So interesting, actually, as we're looking at his face, you can kind of see the human behind the mask. That's so interesting. What a nice little touch. Because in season 1 you couldn't, right? They were faceless. They were almost not human. And now that we have, you know, a little bit of the mask pulled away, we know what's going on here. We know what's behind it. We know why it's here. We know what we're doing. Gi-hun, he has this information, right? He doesn't quite know how this is going to go, but he has... yeah, an inkling of how it's gonna go. And I think seeing that sliver of a face behind the mask kind of represents that almost. It's not so faceless anymore, is it?
아저씨 얼굴도 비밀인가?
아저씨들이 내 옷 벗기고 이거 입혀놨어요?
신발은
Good question. Hey, nice hair, dude.
이거 사이즈도 안 맞고 컬러 너무 구린데.
Okay.
나 핑크 좋은데.
She has a very nice smile. Fair play to her.
왜 가지고 가신 거죠? 그거 돌려주시죠.
Alright, we gotta get this all out of the way. Fair enough.
그럼 핸드폰이라도 돌려주세요. 저 코인 시세 봐야 되거든요.
Mate, you're better off here.
나이 30세 유튜브 채널 전투자 유도 방송으로 구독자
Oh no.
152억 원의 손해를 입히고 채널
Oh god. Oh god. Hawk to a girl all over again. No. No.
226억 404
I love that the footage they like to use is them just getting slapped in the face. A little rude. Come on. Come on. A little bit of dignity. That's the thing. This whole process isn't dignified. And I feel like that little touch of, you know, we're showing all of these people in a very undignified position. It's designed to embarrass them because, I mean, the people in charge don't see them as human. They see them as trash. Every little part of this process is meant to dehumanize them, embarrass them.
100번 임정대
Oh God, his face was red, dude. How long did it take you?
저희는 게임을 하고 여러분들에게 약속된 돈을 드렸습니다. 여러분들께서는 그건 저희를 믿고
And so you trusted us. I mean, that's why they do it, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it's funny actually, but the game of what is it, Dakji, that gets them in, it's designed to cultivate that trust, so that when they're in the game, it's like, well, you know, you're going through this game, but you know where to be trusted. We are going to pay you out if you do win. That's so often the case, right? It's this earning of trust before they exploit you more fully. All of these things that, you know, manipulate us. And I mean, even just the, you know, you can leave if you want to, well, you chose to participate. It's designed to guilt you. It's designed to make you question yourself. It's designed to make you not see that actually you are being harmed and exploited. Well, no, you chose this. And suddenly when you're on the receiving end of that, it's like, well, God, you're right. Yeah, well, okay, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe, you know, maybe it's my fault. And it's like, no, it's not your fault. It's really important to identify that these systems that I'm so sorry, I keep repeating myself, are unfair. Let's leave it at that. Still there? Good. Yeah.
상금은 얼마나 되나요?
상금은 456억입니다.
Yeah, even that though, even the presentation of like this prize money, it's not actually disclosed how that accrues. Because I mean, we saw last season that prize money only increases when people die, right? Which naturally promotes this idea of killing your fellow human, of coming out on top, of using violence to win, right? And yet you call them trash. No, you designed a system that brings out the worst in people because you reward it. When you do that, you are making that. You are making that environment, cultivating that environment. It's not the people in the thing that are to blame, it's you.
상금 분배에 관한 세부 사항은 첫 번째 게임이 끝난 후 알려드리겠습니다.
Yeah, we'll tell you after.
게임의 중단을 원하시는 분들이 많을 경우 게임을 중단하고 그때까지 적립된 상금을 가지고
You can leave with the prize money. Interesting, because what was it before? It was if you choose to leave, those that have died, their families get the prize money. So that's interesting. That's a change, actually.
그럼
Gi-hun, hello.
상금을 받을 수 있다는 말인가요?
그렇습니다.
Interesting, because that's actually like an improvement. That's a little less exploitative, because that inherently in season 1 was designed to make people not want to stop the games, because if you stop the games you get nothing, and actually it goes to those that are gone already, right? It incentivizes you to stay in the game, whereas actually this incentivizes you to stop the game, to vote to stop the game, and you still get something. It's actually a little better. It doesn't make the Squid Game less harmful, less exploitative, less of a problem. I'm just saying incrementally it's a little better. But I mean, that's how they get you, right? If corporations, if I don't know, there's something bad that happens and the public are up in arms about it, and it's like, that's not okay, don't do that, and we actually see people coming together collectively being like, that's not okay, they go, well, okay, incrementally we've made this change. Aren't we good? Aren't we okay now? But they're still exploiting people. They're still doing the bad thing. They're not actually going to the root and solving the problem and making sure that people are okay, right? This is how it works. And this is representing that. I think we see this kind of thing all the time. It gives these powerful corporate entities a lot of leeway when they do that. They kind of, I think examine what they can do to alleviate the pressure they're under and keep the people from coming up and rising up against them, right? That's the game they're playing, and that's the game these guys are playing here. Like, a look at this face on Gi-hun, it's like, that's changed. Is it better now? No, it's not. The issue is still here because it still exists. They're just trying to appease you. I wonder even if they changed that rule because he's in here to mess with him. Because he's the only one who's going to notice that change, right? Oh God, really?
내가 왜 왔냐고? 어? 네 빚값으로 왔지 이놈아.
God.
왜 아무것도 모르는 노인들을 이런 데 데려와요?
Yeah.
노름이 아니라.
Is it not gambling?
쌍식이야. 게임이 노름이.
Yeah. So interesting, isn't it? All of these ways that we justify these systems as helping us, as being fair. It's okay, don't worry about it. It's not that bad. It is. It really is.
게임에 참가를 원하지 않는 분은 지금 말씀해 주시길
If they don't choose to participate, they're just going to get shot.
게임을 떠날 수 있는 기회를 드리고
That's ambiguous.
내가 네 방송 구독자거든. 너 때문에 수업 깨졌다 이 개새끼야.
나도야.
Damn.
그 코인 많은 씹새끼들 돈 챙겨다가 필리핀으로 쳤다 하지 않았어? 너는 왜 여기 있어?
Well, it perhaps sounds like he also was a victim, mate. He was just perhaps the mouthpiece.
하라고 강제로 시켰어요?
안 사면 병신이라며 이 개새끼야!
It's interesting, isn't it?
정에 대한 판단과 책임은 본인에게 있습니다.
Yeah.
내 마지막 방송 멘트인데 못 들으셨어요?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think they're both in the wrong. In a certain respect, I think you've got to take responsibility for your actions if you chose to, if you're like, look, I think crypto's a scam. Just don't do it. Stop. Let's just get that out of the way, first of all. But if you are doing that, you do have to take responsibility. At the end of the day, you know that you might lose money. You have to know that going in. You can't necessarily just blame people. At the same time, I mean, I'm sensing that this YouTuber here, who was like perhaps telling people, what to spend their money on, what to do, it sounds like he has been exploited here too. But sometimes you do get content creators that do that kind of thing, and they do willingly, knowingly exploit, their viewers. That is something that happens too, and I think that should also be punished. That's also not okay. At the same time, like I say, you're an adult. You are choosing at the end of the day to do it too. You can't cry over spilt milk if you then lose your money. You can be mad at the person if they gave you bad advice, but it's not ultimately necessarily their fault either, right?
게임 잘해라. 끝나면 수금하러 올 거니까.
I don't think he has it, mate. Okay.
앞뒤 상하고 나도 좀 알자.
Suspicious.
그게 뭔데?
Don't tell him. I want to believe this guy, but I'm inherently a little suspicious. Oh God. Right, if they pull out his tooth now or examine him or something, I think this is the spy.
옛날에는 사람이 살던 섬인데 지금 갯바위 낚시.
So you knew about it. I was gonna say it's good to be back, but mixed feelings.
네버 타노스 맞죠?
Thanos? God. Purple, hey, makes sense.
앱으로 인류의 절반을 죽이겠다. Bam.
Really? That's why. Fair enough.
형제만 좀 사진을 좀 찍어주시면요.
We all gotta relax.
타노스 형 피곤하시니까 한 번에 갑시다. 자, 붙으세요.
I don't know, his hair's rocking a little bit more like Wolverine, if you ask me.
같이 찍고 싶구나. 그만.
사진은 한 번에 한
여기서 나갈 때 내가 핸드폰 받아서 한 30개 찍어줄 거야.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting, actually, because, I mean, this is the thing. I feel like last season, it didn't have to be down to two people, I feel like. You know, like one person doesn't have to win. In theory, if more got through, there'd have been several games of the Squid Game at the end, and everyone who won their game would have had the prize money split between them. I feel like it seemed to be. I mean, I get it, right? It's making it more dramatic. It's having it, you know, Sang-woo, Gi-hun, I get it. I'm just saying in principle. So I do wonder if we're going to, I mean, maybe we're going to have the Squid Games terminate prematurely. There's 7 episodes. It feels as if we're not going to perhaps see all of these Squid Games through. You know, the 6 games, we'll see. But it will also be interesting to see if, when we get to the final game, it's not just 2 people, it's a few. That would be interesting. And it seems like they want to shake up the formula a little bit. We had last episode and we saw that lady, and she's one of the masked workers. Things are very different this season. It seems like they're trying to purposefully do that. So it makes me more excited. I feel like that's what they kind of need to do, right? You know, it's one thing to do something very similar, which is, you know, inherently familiar to people. But I think, you know, to really make your second season stand out, you got to do something different with a familiar formula, which they, 2 episodes in, have been doing. So it makes me so much more interested. Mate, that lady has like one setting and it's just evil, isn't it? Sorry, she's not evil. She absolutely isn't. I'm just saying she's got the look.
남자요, 여자요.
저런 애들 있으면 남잔데 막 그 여자 되고 싶은.
Want to be. Hey, check your language, dude. Yeah, no, sorry. I did see actually on social media before this came out that there was going to be a trans woman represented in this, because I think the person playing her is cis, right? I did see. I'm gonna you know, take a little second to talk about this, because I know when there was a lot of discourse around it before the series came out. I think at the end of the day, look, I'm a cis person. It's not really to me to really, you know, cast judgment and really come down, you know, and say, okay, well, this is the bottom line. This is how everyone should think. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? We should listen to trans people on this. And so really all I can do is, I suppose, communicate that discourse to people, right? Because I think it's difficult. I mean, representation really, really matters. I talk about it a lot. The one thing that I think you can take from this is that having a trans person in a show of this kind of caliber, of a show of this kind of, you know, reach, is foundationally very good. I mean, you got to be careful, right? Because representation can also be harmful. If it's not a good representation, you get that too. And this is some of the issue, is that when you have a cis person playing a trans person, it teaches people who are unfamiliar with trans folk and, you know, the dialogue and what actually, you know, people who perhaps haven't actually met a trans person in person. It perpetuates this idea of, well, that's just a man dressed as a woman, which is not what a trans person is. But I think when you have a cis person playing a trans person, that is inherently some of the disconnect that happens when people are watching it. Right. So that's a little bit of an issue, because I think the person playing her is cis. At the same time, what's the alternative, right? I mean, there's the alternative of obviously hiring a trans person to play that role, which is always better. That should always be what we are striving for. And people are going to talk about, well, you know, actors are actors. They're supposed to be able to play different roles. And it's like, I agree with you up to a point, but I feel like the people that kind of say that stuff don't quite grasp that, like I say, representation does matter, and there is a lot of misinformation and, like I say, disconnect with a lot of the mainstream audience when it comes to certain representations of certain people in film and TV. If you have a cis person playing a trans person, it can give the impression, oh, well, that's a trans person. It's like, no, that's a cis person playing a trans person. It's not quite the same thing. But then people go away from that thinking, oh, well, it's just a man dressed as a woman, which is essentially what it is. It's a cis man playing a trans woman. And there is inherently something problematic with the representation of that, because it gives that impression to people that it is just a man dressed as a woman. I hope, you know, this is clear, and I'm communicating this and what the issue is clearly, because that's the issue. That's the problem with the idea of, well, any actor can play any role. That's what I mean. If we lived in a perfect world where we were all educated on all of this stuff, it wouldn't be an issue. But the issue is that not everybody is educated, and this representation could send someone off with a poorer idea of what a trans woman is. That's where the inherent issue lies, and that's what I'm talking about. So that is something that, you know, is bandied about when I know that this person and this casting was kind of announced and was getting talked about online. But then you have the thing of, well, what is the answer? I mean, do you find someone at a certain point in their transition to play that role that represents, you know, where the character is? Because I think, and sorry, it's not been revealed yet, but I remember, I think when it was announced, the reason she is in the games is to pay for elements of her transition. Point being, she is at a certain point in her transition, which means do you find a trans person at the same point in their journey as a trans person? Because then you're perhaps, you know, looking into a pool of people that aren't even necessarily ready to come out as trans, right? At the same time, if we hired more trans people and normalized that, then we would have a bigger pool of trans actors as well, right? There's still within the industry work to be done, right? To make sure that those casting opportunities are there and there's a bigger pool of people, right? And that is an industry problem. At the same time, and I'm not super familiar with this, but something that people were talking about was, especially in Korea, having a trans person in any kind of Korean drama was a really, really big deal. And so at a basic level, do we just look at it of, well, that is progressive in itself. That is good in itself, right? So like I say, all I can really do is, you know, present all of that discourse to you so that you perhaps know, because I mean, not everybody is as engaged with this stuff or perhaps has seen, you know, the discussion that I have seen and that I know is present in this casting decision. And so I just want to, you know, communicate that to people and perhaps explain a little bit of that and why that is. And I'm excited to see what they do with the character. And, you know, look, as much as I'm picking apart this guy for what he said here, this is the kind of thing that is flung at trans people all the time. I wonder if we're going to, you know, disentangle some of that and get into it. At the end of the day, I do feel like sometimes, a lot of the time, honestly, a lot of this discourse is because people haven't actually met a trans person, haven't sat across from them and had a conversation. I think people sometimes don't see them as human, right? And it's like when you have a conversation with them, it's suddenly like, oh, you're just a human being who has wants and dreams and hopes, right? And I think it changes things. So perhaps we're going to have a conversation between, you know, these people, like these two here, and we're going to break those walls down. We'll see. Oh, that's a far cry from his first picture, isn't it? It's like what I said, lacking in smile, lacking in warmth, happiness, he's cold. Mm. Wait, I recognize him. Oh, that was his best friend, wasn't it? In at the beginning, of course. Oh God, I bet they looked for this guy because they knew they were bringing him in. They want to try and shake him a little bit, don't they? Emotionally. It is. Oh, you should have all your conversations now, mate. He has a little bit, yeah. I feel like it's a risky maneuver to tell him the truth, though, at this point. Oh, is it red light, green light, really? I was wondering if they changed the games up or just doing the same thing. You think they get bored of the same games, like the VIPs? Don't do that. No.
I like you.
Well, what a move, dude. It's going to be interesting, actually, to see if Gi-hun helps them. Because he has this information, he could probably help save their lives a little bit more. It's going to be difficult because at this point that none of them know what it's going to be like. Like there's only so much you can kind of do because they're going to panic. They absolutely are, and anything that Gi-hun says isn't going to prevent that. But at the same time, sorry, I'm just finding myself curious because there is like a moral responsibility almost that he has to, because he has this information. It's the same as Sang-woo last season. He kind of worked stuff out and wasn't sharing it, and that was inherently, it was cutthroat, but it was not a positively moral good decision. Gi-hun's kind of in the same position, actually, you know, and it's going to be interesting because I feel like so often on this path of chance and challenge, it's this idea of, you know, stay in your lane, do your thing, don't help anyone else because, you know, just think about yourself, right? It isolates you. It kind of drives you towards this idea of only been out for yourself. It's what we tend to see. You can't rely on anyone because everyone else is trying to get a step up and they will step on you if they can, right? It may be a cynical way to think about it, but at the end of the day, I think it's realistic. Like I say, I think it's this system that makes us that way. But that's what I mean. I wonder because there could be, like I said in episode 1, this element from Gi-hun that he is still partaking in this system. He is still not being this pinnacle of morality, right? He had these people working for him. He wasn't necessarily taking care of them in the best way that he could as a boss, as a CEO, right? As a VIP. And in this moment here in these games, Is he going to reach out a hand and help people up, or is he going to take the path of being on his own, not helping? I said a minute ago, it probably isn't the best thing to do for his own cause here, to share what he knows and share who he is and why he might have this knowledge. But it is also the right thing to do to help people, to tell people if they have questions, whatever, and be like, look, we got to work together, we got to, you know. And is that a futile gesture as well at the same time? It's dangerous in this system that's been created, as so often I think people perceive it to be. But like I say, it divides us, it eradicates. These systems eradicate community. And I wonder if we're going to see that.
뭐 하시는 거예요?
Oh God, it's not.
왜 그러세요?
No, they've replaced it. Oh damn, well this complicates things. Oh man. Well, they were thorough, huh? That face, yeah.
이게 이 안에 왜 들어있냐고!
I don't know, mate, if he's in on it.
한 사람이 쓰다나면 믿기라고 준 건데.
Great.
게임 준비가 완료됐습니다.
Ooh, the black jumpsuit, okay. Hello, that's new. There he is. He is going to tell him. Good on him. Breaking the mold.
지금부터 제가 하는 말 잘 들으세요.
I don't think it's going to help, but good on him for trying.
게임을 하다 걸리면 죽습니다.
They're soon going to see. She believes him, I think.
우리는요.
Yeah, this is the thing they have to see, and they're going to panic.
우리 꼰대가 딱 저래.
Yeah, they're all going to listen to him when they get out of this.
회사에 있는 인형의 눈이 동작 감지 장치예요.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And it's so important that he is doing this, like I discussed before, because what that represents is everything that he represents. He is this entity in this mix designed to try to bring it down, to go against the mold in every possible way. That's what Gi-hun's function is this season, and this makes absolute sense for that arc.
지 혼자 상금 먹으려고 저러는 것 같은데요.
You've done what you can, Gi-hun, like they're just going to have to learn.
놀래서 뛰거나 달아나면
Yeah,
안 돼.
it's interesting. They must have known he might try to do this, and they didn't care.
얼어!
Do be careful. Bless him for that. I love you, Gi-hun. Is he going to get him through all of it, I wonder? Or what if he's going to be an example? Because he has this knowledge of what you can achieve when someone actually does reach out a hand and helps, forms community. That example being, the result of that being, we all get out of it. We all get out of it positively. We all win something. We all get something. Then we can all win. We can survive together. Yeah. Gi-hun, man, you gotta move.
가리고 말해야 돼. 위험해.
Gi-hun, you gotta move. Please. I mean, God, having him in this game is probably making this so entertaining.
얼어!
For the VIPs, huh? Oh, this is good, okay. Is he gonna get them all out? That would be beautiful. I'd love that so much.
저 아저씨 약한 거 아니야? 해봤어?
관심
Oh God. Oh God. Relax.
뭐야?
Don't say anything.
너한테 벌이 앉았어.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no.
다 움직였어.
Okay. Now we all see. That's unfortunate. Keep them calm, mate. Yeah. Be the leader they need. Keep it together. Keep it together. Come on, it's just a bee. Dude. Okay. Oh, there's the panic. Gi-hun, there's only so much you can do, man. It's a good effort. Right, well, after this, they're all going to be like, right, how did you know? What's your story? And he can, like I say, be a leader. So all it takes is one person. One person to bring people together. And then you've got community. Damn. Ah. That was a good try. Yeah, it's so interesting, actually. Just a little note, because I think before this comes out, you know, and I think there were some promotional images of him in the jumpsuit, and it's like he's in the Squid Game again. It's almost, you look at that and you're like, oh God, Gi-hun, how? Did you see your daughter? Do you know all this stuff? And it's like, how are they going to make that believable? How are they going to make him back in there, considering, you know, where we leave him in season 1. And I feel like this is so interesting. This is such an interesting way to have got him in, and then while he's in, to shake up what we know and to give us a kind of a newer watching experience. I just think, you know, what I'm saying is they're executing that, I think, really, really well. Oh God, she's a sniper? She was in the military, right? Makes sense. Oh, now you're happy, huh? Playing your music, having a good time. Feel like a little subtle hint that he was on edge actually before that. He didn't know how this was going to go. He needed... Interesting, isn't it? Because it's like the art of desire. I feel like the front man is so assured in his thinking and how he thinks. And it's like, I know how to manipulate people. I know the art of desire. I know this, I know this, I know this. And I feel like Gi-hun perhaps is actually challenging him and probably almost working against maybe the frontman's theory of, do you know what I mean? Gi-hun is an example of not being controlled, right? And that's what the frontman's all about, control. And I feel like him putting on the music then and not at the start of the game, and it, I think, symbolizes the fact that he's relaxed and that he didn't play it until it went the normal way. The game went the normal way. Shows that actually before he put the music on, he was on edge. And it's like, why? Why was he on edge? Because I think Gi-hun is actually challenging his worldview. This art of desire, this control that he feels like he has. It's going to be interesting as the season goes on to see perhaps how Gi-hun is challenging the front man. Right, order, you should be getting out now. Come on. Ooh, nice little transition. I love that. Oh, no one wants to move now. He needs to get to the front and rally them. Really, mate. What a legend. Nice. Yep. Oh, God. Really? Oh, she's shaking. Oh, come on. That's not fair. Who is it? You recognize them? It's gonna be so interesting actually, because we had what was it, the Dakji guy in episode 1. Yeah, my father was there and I had to shoot him, and I did, and then I realized I was cut out for this. It's gonna be interesting with that and him as an example. And if she recognizes someone and actually she doesn't pull the trigger, it shows that she's not quite the same. And I think we've already seen last episode that she does have a sliver of humanity in her, of kindness. It doesn't mean that just because she's doing this that she is just a bad person. I mean, I'm not saying she's squeaky clean, right? This is questionable. It's not great. But yeah, like I say, taking that theme forward, and she's not going to be able to shoot somebody. Where do we go from there? Oh. Yeah, you're a little on edge, aren't you? I wonder if the front man's going to get so rattled he's going to start breaking his own rules, you know?
괜찮아요? 내 뒤로 바짝 붙어요.
Nice, look at that. Oh, you. He's an issue. Ding. Okay. Yeah, it shows within this, when you have, you know, people reaching out hands, helping each other, it just takes one person sometimes to ruin that. You know, you can have the best theoretical systems in place sometimes, right? And sometimes humanity doesn't like to have a good thing. I mean, maybe what it means for Gi-hun fighting the fight and being that, there's some reality of like, well, how do I, if I can't bring down the system, is the second best thing to be in that system and helping people up. Because in that world, it's like, well, he could make a deal to be like, well, can I be in every single game? Can I do this every single game? Can I be in there and help people up, help people pass, help give the most amount of people the best chance to get money and win? Dude, stay still. That was vindictive. Are you going to go back in and bring him out? How much time? Yeah. Oh, that's close, dude. That's close. What a legend, eh? You got to drag him now, though. What you got now? 20 seconds? Yeah, you need to help. You really need to help. Come on! Yes! More people. Good. Who was it? Beautiful. How much time? Go! Oh God. I mean, they're gonna make it. They gotta make it, right? Oh, she's awesome. Come on. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. Look at that. When you reach out a hand, more people succeed. What? Oh, because he was out already. Ugh. For real? What? Is he gonna get punished now?
탈락자를 처리한 것뿐이야.
Jeez. All right. Yeah. Interesting, actually, that it was her, because it's like it's challenging that what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I was arguing a minute ago about her having a sliver of good, of empathy to her, right? That's what we saw, and it's like that just then arguing against my point. But great though. Complex. Give me some grey. Done. First challenge finished. Well done, folks.
쪽으로 유도한 걸 보면 이 근방에 있진 않을 겁니다.
Yeah.
일단 항구로 돌아가는 게 좋을 것 같은데.
You need to go back and assess.
아니 정보가 도대체 어디서 산 거야? 아 여기도 누가 어디서 신청한 거막 떠든 거 아니야?
Was it you? No. Was it you? What did you say? Yeah. Stay strong, folks. You are going to be a problem.
첫 번째 게임을 통과하신 참가자 여러분, 첫 번째 게임의 결과
There it is, the kicker. Money, money, money.
뭔가 오해가 있으신 것 같습니다.
I mean, you can all vote to leave now. I have a feeling, though, that the vote won't pass this time. You can vote to leave.
참가자 과반수가 동의를 하면
저희는 여러분의 자유로운 의사결정을
Of course you do.
그럼 투표에 앞서 지금까지 적립된 상금을 공개하겠습니다.
Yeah, let's do that first, eh? Incentivize them to stay. It's so funny, right? It's this thing of like, oh, yeah, we respect your freedom of choice while putting them into a place that takes that away. While also knowing that the only reason they are there is because they came from a world where they didn't have that got them to the point they're at, that made them desperate. It's like, it's such twisted logic. It's such a willing ignorance of what they're doing. And like I say, I think allows them, the game masters, to justify it to themselves that they are the good guys. When they're not, they're just perpetuating harm. Yeah, Gi-hun looking at them. Like, really, look at you all being drawn towards it. Look how powerful that is. Money.
참가자 1인당 2,493만 1,000.
It's a lot. Really, not enough for you?
456억이라며?
게임의 규칙에 따라
Yeah,
한 명마다 1억 원씩 상금이 적립됩니다.
there it is.
다음 게임을 하고 또다시 탈락자가 발생하면
Incentivizing you to kill people.
상금액이 늘어납니다.
But you have freedom. We're going to manipulate you as a human to every degree that we possibly can. We're going to prey on that, and we're going to prey on your circumstances and your desperation. But you have the freedom to choose. Yeah, no, you're free. It's like, no, sorry. But what bad faith, what illogical thinking that is. We're human. We're made up of these things. These feelings, these emotions, if you're willingly choosing to manipulate that, knowing that context, you are not affording those people freedom. That's not freedom. That's not being free. It isn't. It really isn't. And we need to get that out of our head.
그럼 혼자 남으면
그렇습니다.
This is what I mean. They're incentivized now to step on each other to get to the top.
저희는 언제나 참가자 여러분의 자발적인 참여 의지를
Stop.
456번
It's going to be interesting to see what he chooses. I feel like he's got to choose to leave. If only because he's the figurehead that he is now.
니들이 죽을 곳과 시간은
This lady, what is this about?
신명께서 정하시는 것이야.
Yeah, I mean, he's here to do something.
너 절대로 벗어날 수 없어.
No matter how hard you try, you can't escape it. I mean, okay, there we go. And there we go. Her saying that. You can't escape, you can't. That's how it's decided by the gods. And then, like I say, Gi-hun, this representation of going against the mold, fighting against that, looking to work to dismantle. And we have her saying that immediately followed by him pressing X. No, I go against that. I don't accept that.
나눠드린 배치를 오른쪽 가슴에 붙이시고 모양과 같은
Really?
됩니다.
Really? You're using that to shame them. It's the people now, if we stay in, it's going to be like you all wanted to leave. It's creating a class system, dividing, symbolically putting something on people to divide them. That's what that is. You're creating groups. That's another way to manipulate people, to turn them against each other. God, it's such underhanded, but it's the art of desire. That's what the front man is all about. It's manipulating based on that desire, on what people want, making them ally with each other, which automatically makes them turn against other people. And at the end of the day, that's our biggest enemy, the people's biggest enemy, because we should be banding together, not dividing. That's when we give them what they want. When we divide.
53번
You know, all these systems in place here, look, to perpetuate that divide. Relax, dude. I realize he can't. He's taking something, but
잠깐만요, 여러분. 잠깐만요.
here we go.
정신들 차려요. 아직도 모르겠어요?
Yeah.
게임이 아닙니다.
That's his point of being here, Gi-hun's point of being here. It's like I've talked about before, but I'm kind of more sure now. The whole purpose of him being here is to disprove the frontman. The frontman is like, this is how it is, and you should just get on board. Gi-hun is no and no. And at every point in this episode, Gi-hun is going against them all, like I keep saying. Sorry, I keep repeating, I do. And doing it again. Trying to educate people to make things better for everybody. He's the spokesperson, the personification of that idea. That's what this season is about. It's the ideological difference between Gi-hun and the frontman, what they represent, and the battle, the conflict. Can Gi-hun topple it? Can he work against it? Can he make the people rise up, or is the frontman gonna win? And they did. He was right.
하도 앞에 나 죽는다 설쳐서 내가 그것 때문에 더 떨렸어.
Okay, you were gonna get no. You were gonna get nervous anyway when it happened. That wasn't Gi-hun making you nervous. That was the actual game making you nervous.
당신 총질하는 건 어떻게 한 거야? 여기 관계자야?
Yeah, well, this is the thing now, right?
안에 들어와서 참가자인 것처럼 사기치는 거 아니야?
Ilnam.
이 친구 덕분에 우리가 정신 차려가지고 거기서 안...
봤어. 이러지를 마시고 여러분.
Hello, mate. Yeah.
나도 그렇고 여러 선생님들도 그렇고 여기 이 선생님 덕분에
Bless you, mate.
욕심 좀 그만 부리고.
Yeah, mate. This is what you've gotta be dealing with.
나도 이 게임을 해봤다고요.
It had to come out, I think, didn't it?
내가 알고 있는 건 이 게임을 해봤기 때문입니다.
You won, and it didn't give you happiness. Oh man, that's a hard conversation to persuade people to your cause with, isn't it? If they haven't lived it themselves, they're not going to believe you. They're going to be like, well, what are you talking about? The money is going to change my life.
3년 전에 여기서 게임을 했어.
He's got the deck stacked against him.
그때 같이 게임을 했었던 사람들은
Died.
전부 다 죽었습니다.
It's the bread and the lottery. You're taking a lottery ticket here.
혼자서 우승이라도 했다는 거야?
Yeah, so why are you here?
여기 있는 사람들 전부 다 죽을 겁니다.
개소리하고 있네.
Yeah,
혼자 우승했으면 456억을 벌었다는 건데.
we're all clamoring for this one goal, this one prize, all this money to become a millionaire, billionaire. None of us, we're all so desperate to achieve it because it's what's funneled into us, like I've been saying, in episode 1, from when we're young, this dream, this hope. Exploited hope, and we can't possibly believe anyone that says actually if you get there it's not the be all and end all. It's not what we should be striving for in life. That's the point. The point is that we should be striving towards our own happiness, whatever that looks like. And yes, absolutely money comes into that. It has to nowadays, right? But also, like I said before, I think a lot of people just want the money to afford the basics and have some left over to be able to live. I think a lot of people don't want necessarily to be a millionaire. They're not necessarily going to turn it down if someone offers, but
다시 기어들어와.
that's the question.
헛소리 하지 마.
Oh god, here comes the bad boy.
진짜 우승자면 차라리 잘 됐네.
You can help them through.
아저씨가 우리한테 노하우를 알려주면 되겠다.
Yeah, they're going to want to keep you alive now, and then stab you in the back at the end.
우승한 사람들인데 뭐가 걱정이야?
There you go.
다 한번 해.
Oh god. Oh no, now it has the opposite effect and they're all going to carry on.
지금 나가야 됩니다.
But he's right, a lot of them will die.
더 많은 사람들이 죽을 겁니다.
Yeah. Is that one chance, that one hope worth that? To a lot of people, unfortunately, yes. Really? Whew. Yeah, complex stuff, innit? But I mean, that's what the show's doing. It's putting it all on display, giving us a little petri dish of this is how the world is. It's messy. Huh. Of course. You're interesting, mate.
7번.
007. Shaken, not stirred. Sorry, that's not my audition. Let's just relax, okay?
영식이 너 어떤 생각하지 마라. 어?
Yeah. God. Gonna go against your mum. Damn. It's funny as well, isn't it, that it's blue and red panels on their chest, because that's the thing. I think that's sometimes what happens. I think what we're going to see now after this, like I say, I mean, these badges are a pin of division, right? I wouldn't put it past people judging other people based on which colour they're wearing. And I think sometimes you get that. Right. Oh God, it's such a big conversation. I'm sorry, I can't really get into it, I suppose, because I would just be talking. I've talked a lot already. But it is this conversation of when you know someone, who someone votes for, This is what this is a voting system where, you know, whether it's Democrats, Republicans, whether it's Conservatives, Labour in England, sometimes you will get people, you know, you'll meet somebody and it's like, oh yeah, well, you know, no, I'm not saying this is how every conversation goes, right? It's very unlikely in some respects, but you find out that someone voted for the other party to you, and I think you do automatically drives up a wall, right? And like I said, I don't want to get into the conversation because I'll be talking forever, because I think sometimes that wall is very valid, right? Depending on which party stands for, and you know, if you vote for said party, it is whether you want to argue it or not. If you're voting for a leader that has committed crimes, if you vote for them, you are, whether you like it or not, declaring that you're okay with that you are supporting that. Whether you say you don't support it, or whether it's not, well, I'm voting for that person because of this and this, not that. And it's like, well, you voted for them, so you're voting for all of them. You are saying that you support all of that other stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? And so, like, there are walls put up, I think, sometimes validly so. At the same time, it's so dangerous, isn't it? Because the only way for one person that supports one party to persuade someone who supports another party, the only way to change their mind to your cause, to the way that you think, is to talk to them, is to have that dialogue, right? I mean, that's just foundationally, inherently what has to happen, to exchange ideas. And I think today, I mean, this is so poignant because I think we do have, a culture of not talking, of not having civil conversation about stuff, which, like I say, I think sometimes, unfortunately, human beings, minorities, humans' existence has been politicized. You know, trans people have been politicized when they shouldn't have been. They're just people that want to exist. That's it. They want to be quiet. They want to live their life, and they're not being allowed to because there are vocal minorities that are so adamantly, aggressively against their existence, which isn't okay, right? That's what makes it complex, because it's hard, you know, for a trans person to talk to someone who is inherently transphobic, who is working to harm people, voting for things that are going to harm those people. So I'm not trying to say that it's invalid to be angry or to put up those walls, but unfortunately, you know, the truth of it, the dichotomy of that is that you do have to talk to those people. I mean, someone has to talk to those people. It's why I try to talk about it, because I appreciate that trans people can't always speak for themselves because they're spending all of their energy every day just to survive and live and deal with it. And it's up to everybody to kind of come together and support minorities, whether it is trans people, whether it's, you know, queer people in general, whether it's, you know, people of color, whether it's this, whether it's that. It's everyone coming together and spreading out that energy, the energy that it takes to fight. But sorry, yeah, I said I wasn't going to get into it. I've touched on it a little bit, and that is just a little bit, right? But I think what we're going to see is these people who are wearing these different colors, and I think it's very on purpose, the colors they've chosen, and how I think it's going to divide them and make them judge each other, because it's predicated in this opinion, this vote that they have cast. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it goes and unpacking that. Maybe Gi-hun maybe coming together and being like, let's not let it divide us, let's get together and talk, right?
마지막으로 1번.
Player one, here we go.
자, 다 같이 동그라미.
Because this is, I mean, everything that I'm talking about here, it's literally what's happening. Half of these people are voting to continue on a path that means most of these people will die. That's what they're voting for. So it's like, if you know, if the other side, if the X's are angry at that and find it difficult to engage with that kind of person who voted for that reality, that's hard. That's hard, man. And, you know, like, there's an argument to be made that the people voting to continue this game is inhuman. It's an inhuman choice, and they are participating in the murder of these people, of everybody here, because they don't quite understand the ramifications, or even worse, they do and they don't care because they gain something from it. And it's like, is that who we are? Is that who we want to be? Come on. Where are our priorities? What are our, you know, it's the individual versus the community. And I do feel like we should be voting for the community, for the whole, for the many, as opposed to the few. I think they vote to continue the games. 7-episode run, we're not got much time. There's not time for them to go out and come back in again. But maybe. Who is number one, by the way? Yeah, what an interesting episode. Sorry, I've talked a lot, I know I have. But a lot to unpack. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be someone? No. How did you get in there? Literally pitting them against each other. Player one. You've come in to match him, match his bet. Okay, the plot thickens. I mean, very much, I think. I mean, like I was talking about before, this season is about those two, Gi-hun and the front man, and going against each other. And I think now that he's in the game, we are going to find out more about him. We'll actually get some conversations with him, which I'm very much looking forward to. God, not many episodes, though, to dig into it. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull that off, pacing-wise. But yeah, absolutely. That's the conflict at play here. Who's right and who can prove that their worldview is the one? Or at least can Gi-hun bring it down? Can he prove the good of humanity as opposed to the frontman who thinks of all of these people as trash? We'll see. I don't think, God, no, this is the thing. That's the interesting thing. Gi-hun doesn't know his face. We know his face, but Gi-hun, okay. Anyway, yeah, I've talked a lot this episode, lots to dig into. Very good episode. Really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I'll end it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please do consider doing that down below. That helps me out a great deal. If you'd like to support me further, I've got some early access for my patrons, my YouTube members. Go have a look at my page. If not, no worries. Every video will be free on YouTube in time. But thank you, as always, to those who do support me. Thank you. But that's it from me. More Squid Game coming soon, and I will see you next time.